What is up, guys? This is Between the Pylons, and I'm John Camacho. Welcome back, and today we are doing another draft profile, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. I am diving deep into a quarterback. First quarterback that I'm doing on this channel. This is the Tua Tagovailoa. I suck at saying his name. This is the Tua draft profile, and I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm going to dive more deep into the film portion of this video, so be ready for that. That's why this video is so much longer than all my others. I usually aim for about 10 minutes. This video, I'm aiming for 30 minutes. We'll see what happens. I'm recording this before I know, so we'll see. A couple of things I do need to say real quick before I get into the Tua draft portion of this. Just some odds and ends things. One, my Wawa score, it was never really built to grade quarterbacks just because there's so much that goes into the quarterback position. There's so much nuance that should be remembered with the quarterback position that I didn't feel like I could just make two different versions of a quarterback or two different algorithms that grade skills differently and be okay with that. So I played around with it a little bit, and I finally just decided, no, I'm going to have one grade, and I will get to that grade at the end. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about the nuance of it, because I think the nuance should come from the film and really watching and understanding the player, because there's so much that can go into the quarterback position, especially. And that can be true for every player, and I do understand that, but it's a lot easier to generalize, the wide receiver or the running back position or defensive positions than it is the quarterback. There's so much on it. I just felt like I should do it maybe a little bit of a different way. So that's what I'm doing. And hopefully in later versions next couple of years, I can figure out a way that I really feel comfortable with creating more nuance to my program. Right now, we're just going to stick with the one grade and be okay with that. Another thing, I don't want to come into this video being viewed as a Tua hater. If you watch my stuff, if you listen to me on the podcast, if you watch some of the earlier videos, I've talked about how I don't want my Dolphins, which is my favorite team, to draft Tua in the first round. And it was more so I didn't want to tank for Tua. I was never supportive of that. I never saw Tua as this tank-worthy player. I don't think there's a lot out there, and I'm not really against tanking. Like, if we're tanking for a player, tank for Trevor Lawrence. I was totally fine all those years ago trying to tank for Andrew Luck, and it never happened. And it kind of feels like we're repeating that cycle. With that being said, I don't hate Tua. I think, first of all, he's an amazing guy. All the injuries and stuff that he's gone through, and he's really been able to battle back through everything. Awesome dude. Seems like a great guy. And I really like the prospect as well. I will say off the jump, I went into watching film and studying the quarterback, not thinking that he was going to be this, awe-inspiring, impressive guy that I was just going to fall in love with. And I came out of it kind of feeling the same way. I think I like him more than I thought I would, but that happens all the time. I'm going to get into that more when we talk about the player and when I go through all the film portion of this. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say that, I'm a Dolphins fan. There's been so much connecting to it to the Dolphins, and I've kind of fought back against that on Twitter and on the podcast and stuff. And I don't want this to come from a place of hate, because it doesn't. I'm just grading the guy. I'm just telling you what I think about him, and, maybe you disagree. Hopefully you disagree, and you can talk to me about it. And I think that's all cool. With all that being said, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let's get to the video, guys. All right, so first thing we're going to do is talk about the skill chart here. The first thing that's going to jump out to you with Tua is his accuracy. He's incredibly accurate, especially the deep ball accuracy. That is probably one of the highest grades I've ever given on any skill in any position. But it's just so good. It's just insane how he can just float the ball up there and 40, 45, 50 yards down the field, and it seems like it's on a rope every time. Really, really impressive. It's so amazing. Just accuracy in general. This is deep ball. This is probably intermediate to medium accuracy. All really good. There's no doubt that this dude is incredibly accurate. As far as his arm strength, I don't hate it. This is a plus grade. He doesn't wow me with arm strength. Like, I'm not watching him thinking, oh shit, this dude can just rifle the ball in there. It does not say it's bad. He is absolutely has starting level arm talent. It's just not high end arm strength. Right here, I really struggle with this because elevated talent is such a tricky thing, and I felt like it's so important for a quarterback. It's something that I really look for when I'm watching a quarterback. Is like, okay, what did you do with the pieces around you? And I couldn't sit here and say he didn't elevate talent because the Alabama team was really, really good. But I also can't sit here and say he did elevate talent because everybody around him was really good. So I'm gonna leave that at 5 for now. I couldn't give it any higher. I couldn't give it any lower. Just a very medium grade altogether. And when we get into the film portion of the video, you be the judge. I'm gonna give you my opinion, but I don't know that it's set in stone at this point. But I do feel like he had it easy at times. I don't think anybody would argue with that. I mean, he has he has 4 starting first-round caliber wide receivers on his roster, a high-end running back, and a really good offensive line. So he did have it easy. He had it a lot easier than a lot of other guys in college. I love his ability in the pocket. He fills the pocket very well. He climbs the pocket very well. His ability under pressure is very mixed. You have to take the good with the bad in that, and that's understandable. That's going to be the case for a lot of quarterbacks. But I do like to look at this. I think this is one of the more important things to look for. Just, what can you do when there's somebody in your face? Like, because it's not always going to be easy. Are you able to, have those moments of just absolute domination, and it doesn't matter if someone's getting to you, you're still able to get the ball where it needs to be. This is technically a negative grade. It's on the cusp. It's very close. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say more often. It's no more often than yes, but it's 60-40. He has a lot of really good plays too. Mobility, this is something that I'm going to have to buck the idea that he's a mobile quarterback or that he's a dual threat quarterback. He's just not. If you probably know that if you watch a lot of Alabama film, but if you just watch the highlights, sometimes people miss that. Things kind of get altered in your head, and you kind of see a player as something that he's not. He is not a mobile quarterback. There's nothing about him that's mobile. He can move around. He can evade pressure. He can run a little bit. So it's not a total, absolutely can't move, Tom Brady level agility. But, yeah, he's not mobile. He's not going to make a living with his legs by any means, especially at the next level. As far as field vision, love his field vision. I think at times he has a tendency to see half of the field. There's one clip in particular that I'm going to show you guys where I really think he was at fault there, only seeing half of the field. But, I mean, in general, I do think that's a plus grade. And football IQ, he's plays at Alabama. I mean, he plays under Nick Saban. High football IQ. I have no problem saying that. All right, so here we are with the film portion of this video. Before we get started, I do want to say I divided this up into different categories so you can kind of really get a sense of the part of his games that I like and the part that I don't like, and the part that's a little bit of a mixed bag. This is 7 minutes of film. Compared to the 1 minute that I do on most other videos, you can see how much more we're going to be talking about here. So get ready to really dive in. All right, so right off the bat, I do want to talk about his deep ball accuracy, and I'm just going to show a couple clips that show that. I mean, he hits guys in stride every single time, and like I said in the skills chart, I gave him one of the highest grades I've ever given him because I don't think I saw him really miss a throw deep down the field. It's consistent. It's every single time. Right here, you're going to see Jerry Jeudy drop the ball, but the ball was placed perfectly. Like, that's a perfect throw. It hit Jerry Jeudy's hands. You can't ask for much more. And every single time, it doesn't matter if the dude's wide open. Right here, I tried to show plays where he's not, the guy isn't just completely wide open. He's making throws. He's making good throws to covered players, especially, watch this one right here. Yeah, there's a window there, obviously, but it's not huge. We'll go ahead and move on. I'll show this one again. Right here again, this corner's kind of all over him. It doesn't matter. He just drops it in. Anyway, we'll go to accuracy in general. Like I said at the top of this, he's an incredibly accurate quarterback. That's the first thing that should jump out to you. He doesn't miss very often, and when he does, there's usually a reason. You can kind of point to why he missed. When he has the ability to step back and do his drop, look at the field and throw. Yeah, he's a point and shoot type of quarterback. Just drop back, find his guy, and let her rip. I mean, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be really good at it at the next level. Kind of Drew Brees-ish, which I hate to compare somebody to a future Hall of Famer, but I mean, as far as his accuracy, his ability to just kind of scan the field and let her rip, that's Drew Brees-like. And here again, I want to show just, not a hard throw, but he's always going to hit on the money right there. With all that being said, the next part of this we are going to talk about, as you can see on the screen, life was quote-unquote easy. And I say easy in quotes because obviously he's playing quarterback in the SEC against really good players. Obviously nothing's easy. But watch this. Had a completely clean pocket, throws a slant route, and Ruggs is able to take it in for a touchdown. And what I want to do more so than just shit on him because he was on a good team, because I don't want to do that. I don't think that's fair. We're not going to blame somebody because he played on a good team. What we are going to do is let's just all agree to throw out the numbers when we talk about Tua. There's some quarterbacks where you can talk about the numbers, and that's really important, and production's a big deal. I don't think you can look at Tua's production and say, wow, he did so much at Alabama, because a lot of it was easy. A lot of it was gimmies. Like, a lot of those touchdowns are just slants and easy things that turn into touchdowns. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm truly just putting that out there for let's not let numbers get in the way of this conversation, because that was a pretty standard throw, and the running back here was able to run over one person and run and fly over the next one. Here again, open pocket, and this actually wasn't a great throw. It was kind of rushed. You can kind of see he doesn't. Well, here I'm going to go back and kind of see the throw itself. He doesn't get himself in a good stance. Just kind of does a quick little thing, and it wasn't completely inaccurate, but it was kind of high and outside. But the receiver makes him look good and catches the ball anyway. So just stuff like that. Not a big deal. Not something that I think we should penalize him for as far as on the field. But I do think it's just like I've said a couple times already. Let's throw out the whole stats thing when we talk about Tua. And here we are. We're going to talk about something that I think it deserves to be brought up. Time in the pocket. He plays behind a really good offensive line. And the first clip we're going to show is from the LSU game this past season, where he actually got beat up a little bit in this game. But I'm not going to do it on screen, but count how long he has, how many hitch steps he has. And it's not just one play. It's not just that one time. He consistently is able to just sit back, hold, finally takes a sack. But that was just an effort sack. That was a coverage sack, if anything. So he gets to sit back there, and he has plenty of time. And on top of that, when he does throw the ball, he gets to throw it to probably the best receiving core in the NFL. Like, I don't think there's one receiving core that I would put ahead of this Alabama receiving core. There's 4 first-round picks on this receiving core. 4 first-round picks. Maybe not in this game. This is the Georgia game a couple years ago, but this past season for sure. 4 first-round picks. 2 are coming out this year. 2 are going to come out next year. And listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Yes, he had a really good team around him in Alabama. That doesn't necessarily make him bad. He just got to play around a really good team, and he put up great numbers, and he played really, really well. So that in of itself isn't a reason to hate him. Right here, I want to show you guys, and I'm going to take it back a second, and I'm going to slow this down for you guys. So here we go. So watch this play. He has this blitz off the edge right here. This guy's going to come down and blitz, and he just kind of misses it and snap the ball. Here we go. Running back just doesn't block him, and he just kind of has to short arm it. And he's able to short arm it under pressure and still kind of gets an accurate throw. Like, the cornerback was right there. But to be able to short arm it like that and still throw the ball with accuracy, I think that's really impressive. And we're going to keep rolling here. Which is, again, this one right here, not as good. This is a kind of a mixed bag. Just kind of throws a lame duck out there. Watch it again. You can see he is under pressure. He has to roll out. He has a little bit more pressure maybe than you want to. Again, kind of a quickened release. Again, a little bit of a short arm when he's under pressure here. And yeah, it wasn't great. I want to take that back just one more time. I'm going to slow down it just so you guys can see the actual throwing motion. And I think if you compare the throwing motion on this play, again, not a ton of pressure, but does kind of have a quicker kind of bad technique throwing motion there, and it's just a bad throw altogether. Not the end of the world. You know, that happens. That's just one play. I think here I'm actually going to show some more good. Again, yeah, it wasn't great, but he was able to stand in there and throw a semi-accurate ball. Threw it a little bit behind him. This is actually a better angle here, and as you can see, blitzer, he's kind of spying, and let's look at that one more time, and just watch his throwing motion right here. Pretty good. Kind of speeds up the throwing motion to kind of protect himself, which is okay. This is a business. I don't really have a problem with that. I'm going to show it one last time just so you guys can get a good look. See, throw real quick and then turn your back to him, take the hit. Nothing wrong with that. You see some pressure right up the middle. Tries to get away, isn't really able to, but he is able to throw the ball away, which is good. I'll show that again. Well, let's go back to the beginning of the play. Throw through here. Here we go. So pressure right up the middle. See, just doesn't quite have the ability to completely make that D-tackle miss, which is okay. Gets the ball out of his hands. That's all that really matters. And here, this is an all-out blitz, and he just kind of has to take the sack. Honestly, I think that's good decision-making. I didn't really have time. You're playing South Carolina. You're the better football team. There's no reason to kill yourself just to throw it away here. Which is what he would have had to do. He would have had to completely open himself up to that hit if he wanted to throw it away. Don't really have a problem with that. All in all, I wanted to show a lot of him under pressure because it's one of my bigger question marks of Tua going into watching all this. And again, you take the good with the bad. I'd like to see him maybe make him miss. I'd like to see him make him miss in this situation. You see him kind of try and pull what Patrick Mahomes does all the time and just skirt away from him, and it just doesn't work out. But again, he's able to get the ball and throw it away. That does lead us into pocket presence, and it's really, really good. He's so good in the pockets. I think probably one of my favorite things about him, right next to their accuracy. Watch this. You're going to see him kind of trying to do the exact same move that I showed you from the play before, but this time it's successful. He has to throw the ball away. He doesn't have a ton of time. I'm okay with that. Let's watch that again. Let's look at what he can do at his best. This is at half speed here. Coming right down the gut. Just sidestep, toss it. Yes, it's a throwaway, but I mean, I think that's a really good play. I love to see stuff like that. And here, you're going to see him kind of climb the pocket and make a throw. Not a super accurate throw. Again, was kind of rushed. I don't love his accuracy when he is rushing to throw a little bit. I felt like it was a little bit rushed. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's go back and look at that one more time. I'm going to slow it down here for you guys and be the judges and just my thoughts here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, not super rushed there. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Does throw the ball inaccurate, but as you can see, he climbs the pocket. That's really what the point of that clip was anyway. And here you're going to see climbs the pocket, able to get the ball away. Jerry Jeudy makes a great catch, and what could have very easily become a negative play because you kind of see it's got 5 rushers. The offensive line really can't hold up, and he's got 2 guys kind of barreling down his throat here. Able to elude and get the throw off. Not super accurate, but he had a D tackle close, pretty much landing on him when he let that ball go. So I'm not super upset about that. And here we're going to see maybe not the best, kind of the same thing where he tries to climb the pocket and get away, isn't able to get away, but that's understandable. Not a lot of guys would have gotten away from that situation. And here we're going to show throwing on the run. And really, this is just a quick little thing where I just wanted to highlight that he's really good at it. Incredibly accurate when he's on the move and off platform throws. I think that's another one of his skills. Again, I think when he has space, he is so accurate. When things get a little bit more clogged up, it becomes a little bit tougher. Here again, accurate, good throw on the run. You gotta love that. Actually, I slowed that down and bring it back to full speed. Actually, I'm gonna slow it down here because here, this is the only question I have. Why does he run out? There's no reason. That pocket's completely clean. Ends up being a touchdown. Maybe because of the angle that we're watching that at maybe I'm missing a linebacker. Maybe he does the Patrick Mahomes move where he runs one way to get the linebacker to follow him and create some openings. It very well could have been what it was. I didn't see that. I will probably watch the play 100 times. I don't know that that's why he did it. He didn't need to run out of the pocket there, but whatever. That's really, again, not the point. That's such a small thing. Anyway, all in all, great at running, great at off-platform throws in general. Here we're going to show the playmaking, and this is kind of a weird clip to start with in the playmaking category. But really what I like here, makes one guy miss, makes two more guys miss, and then, yes, he does get tackled, and I get that. But I feel like it's important to show, yeah, this dude can get away he can elude a blocker, or he can elude a defender, excuse me. Makes number 20 look silly and is able to climb off that, is able to kind of split the defenders here and completely gets away from both of them. Unfortunately, yes, there's three other Sooners that are right there to bring him down. That's not really the point. The point was just his ability to keep the play alive and elude pressure. And here, and by the way, just to be clear, playmaking may have been the wrong choice of words for this section. This is more what he can do, avoiding pressure and making a play with his legs, more or less, all the crazy plays that we see in the NFL nowadays from really athletic guys. And I just want to show what he's capable of in that range. As you can see, that is the worst dive of all time. I think it's the only reason he's not a baseball player, because he can't dive. I should know I can't dive either. So here I just want to show he's not the fastest guy. Yes, he can avoid pressure. Yes, he can elude tacklers. But out in space, yeah, he's not that fast. That lineman right there was kind of keeping up with him. He's faster than the lineman, but he's not much faster than the lineman. So I just think it's important to note there might be this prevailing notion that he's a dual threat quarterback. He's not. He is not at all a dual threat quarterback. And then we're going to show it again on this clip here. Again, has to kind of make a play with his legs. Not a dual threat quarterback. Not incredibly scary in the open field. Teams aren't going to be spying him a whole lot. I'll show it one more time. Kind of gets caught because he had to make a move here, but that's not really the point. All in all, that's more so just to show what he is and maybe not what he is thought to be by certain people that may not realize. And here we're going to show decision making. Decision making is a plus grade for me. It's kind of tough to see, but you can see on this play how he really does examine the field. You can see his head turn here and really scan the entire field and make a good, accurate throw. What I love is the timing anticipation on this play. The decision to throw happens right here, right? He's already bringing his arm back, so he's about to start the motion of the throw. The dude has not started his break yet. It doesn't, but the anticipation, know where he's going to be, and throws a really good, accurate ball. You got to love that. And here we are. This poor cutting on my part. Sorry about that, guys. Here, decision making again. Looks like he was about to really throw that and then decides against it at the last second. So strong hands not to let that go away. And does end up taking the sack. That doesn't really bother me, though, because I'd rather you take a sack there than throw an interception. And if I'm remembering right, they end up getting a touchdown on this drive anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I actually think that's a positive, just being really smart with the football. And when you play at Alabama, it kind of makes sense. You have all this talent around you. You know what you have on offense, and you have on defense. You don't need to really take too many chances, and you don't really see Tua do it very often. And here, actually, the point of this play was to show you guys. He actually kind of misses a read here. He should have thrown it to the running back right now. But he is kind of dancing in the pocket and doesn't see it until the very last second. It was too late. But anyway, you can kind of see right here, he should have thrown it. Right here, he sees him. Or actually, right there, he sees him. But sees him at the very last second, and it was too late. Anyway, we'll get on to the next play for decision making here. All right, so in this play, you're going to see him completely miss a read, and it doesn't happen very often. And then actually, the announcers help you out, and you kind of see it right here. Dude's wide open. When you first watch it, you don't know if maybe there's a safety, but there's not. Dude is wide open, flailing his arms. You don't see that happen a lot, but I did think it was worth noting that it did happen from time to time. That's such a very small thing, and the broadcasters help us out here, showing, yeah, you can't get more wide open than that. That was a walk-in touchdown from Tua, but maybe he was rushed just a little bit, and he ends up throwing it away, or throwing it to the wrong receiver there. All right, so this is the last part of the video, and this is where we're going to dissect some of the mistakes that he made. I watched 5 different games for Tua before making this video. He threw 3 interceptions in those 5 games, and I didn't count the touchdowns, but there were a lot more of those. This is one of the interceptions against LSU. And I do think it should be noted. There's 21 seconds left in the game. They're on the 29, or excuse me, in this first half. They're on the 29-yard line. He has to push it down the field. This is not an option. This not an option. So his whole goal is to push it down the field, and it gets picked off. It was actually a really good play by this this safety or linebacker. I'm not exactly sure. He was playing safety in this play, but he looks really big for a safety. Or no, he's playing linebacker. I take it back. So you see, just kind of really good play by the linebacker. It doesn't, I guess Tua just doesn't see him. I'm not really worried about that, more or less, because we're gonna watch this one more time. We're gonna slow it down here so we can really get a good sense of what happened here. I think really, first of all, he's only looking at these 3 receivers, these deep routes. Doesn't like this one-on-one against Stingley. I don't blame him. I think that's his name, the all-star cornerback from LSU. Right here, sees a little bit of a zone, sees kind of an opening right here, pulls the trigger, and kind of a bad throw, and the linebacker is able to undercut it and get kind of an easy pick there. And, not the end of the world. Like I said, situation I feel like matters a lot for some of these interceptions. He's trying to make something happen in a game that he's losing. It doesn't go his way. That happens for a lot of guys. I don't have an issue with that. Here, a little bit more of an issue. You don't have the excuse of the situation as much. Just kind of a bad decision, bad ball. Really never should have tried to throw it there, and it was a mistake, and actually put this team down a little bit. Once we get through this, you're going to see a little bit better what happens right here. You see the safety kind of inches over and then just runs, and really, I don't care what the safety did. It was a really good play by the safety, but I think you have to see him. We're going to look at Jerry Jeudy here. Look at this route. He was never really ever open. And Tua was trying to make something happen. The pocket was closing in on him, and just a bad throw. Second or third and last interception of this video, and second interception in that same game. Later in the game, third quarter, clean pocket, has no excuse there, and just kind of leaves it out there a little bit too long, lays a little bit of a floater out there. And again, I mean, this was a really good Alabama defense in 2018 especially. Really bad throw, because this ball should have been right here. Let's move this back just a little bit. This ball should have been right here. This receiver shouldn't have had to stop and turn around for the ball. Really just a bad throw altogether, and bad placement, and it gives the safety enough time to make a move. And we're going to see it one more time from this angle here. So it looks like almost blitzing safety. It looks like maybe he was playing run. Kind of gets lost in coverage. It was a good decision. The ball should have gone to him, but it should have gone to him for a touchdown, and it should have ended up right over here. Instead, he throws it way too close to this hash mark and gives the safety way too much time to go and make a play, which he does. That is the film portion of this video. That is everything I have from the film part of it, and what I hope I did, and what my attempt was to do, was to show a lot of different clips that really accentuate everything about Tua that I see. I see a really accurate, a really good player when he's in the right situation. I don't see an elite player. I don't see somebody who's truly going to elevate. From what I was watching, from all the film that I saw, I didn't see a player that was really elevating his team. I thought he was playing at the level of his team. That's not a bad thing. That's not an insult. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that play at the level of their team. One of them is Jimmy Garoppolo, made it to the Super Bowl. You can get to the Super Bowl. The 49ers were very close to winning that Super Bowl. You can win a lot of games with a quarterback that does that. And I think Tua has part of the thing that he has is he's really, really accurate. And we saw in the first game that we ever saw on a national level from Tua was the national championship in 2017. They're losing. They take Hurts out. They put Tua in, and he ends up coming back into overtime and winning that game. We know he has that it factor, and I get that. There's no argument against that. I think I laid out what he's really good at, and I think I laid out what is kind of a mixed bag and what he's not as good at. I don't love him under pressure. He's not terrible. He makes throws under pressure as well, and you can absolutely find a play where he's really good under pressure, but I can also find a couple plays where he's really bad under pressure. I don't love his throwing motion when he's under pressure. He kind of airs the ball out a little bit too much. So that's an issue for me, not a major issue. And then the last thing that we have to talk about, because I can't show anything on the video, I wasn't going to sit here and show you the injuries that he's sustained on camera, but injuries are an issue. Injuries are a serious issue, and it brings his grade down for me because I do account injuries into my grade. So it brought him down, I think, below what I would be considered an elite player for my grade. And I'm going to get into the grade for a second, but I personally have a real problem taking a guy in the top 5 to be in it. To me, I understand first-round quarterbacks happen all the time. He should absolutely be a first-round quarterback. He's a lot better than a lot of other first-round quarterbacks. He's better than any quarterback that could have come out last year. I don't care who it was. He would be my number 1 quarterback. This year's a little bit different. I think it's a better quarterback class at the top end. I do think he's a first-round pick. I want that to be very clear. But top 5, expecting elite traits from him, I have an issue with that. I think you're taking a guy who has only ever known a really good offensive line and really good playmakers around him and putting him on a team that's not going to have that when he does have the injury issues. and it feels like one of those things where if he's not playing in 5 years, I'm not going to be surprised because he's having an Andrew Luck-ish type of start to his career. And granted, I'm talking Andrew Luck in the NFL, but I mean, it's just injury after injury, and that's going to pile up, and eventually enough is going to be enough. Talent is there. There's no doubt about it. I don't want it to sound like, yes, there's some issues with his game. There's nothing that I showed you on that film that is something that can't be fixed. There's nothing that I showed you that I'm going to have a long-term issue with. Do I think he's an absolute all-star that just blows my mind in play after play? No, I don't see that. There wasn't a lot of just absolute insane playmaking from him, but a really accurate, really good player. That's great. Add in the injuries and I have a problem. It just is what it is, man. And I support anybody who wants to sit here and tell me that if it weren't for injuries, he would be in the argument for number 1 quarterback. I don't see that. And granted, I haven't done the Joe Burrow video, and that'll come out eventually. I don't know when. But from everything I've seen from Joe Burrow this season, he's the number 1 quarterback. Doesn't matter injuries or not. He's the number 1 guy. With that being said, we need Tua to go to a place where he can redshirt for a year. Please don't. And I say this truly just for the career of Tua, in the interest of giving him the longest career possible. I don't see the Dolphins as a good fit for him. And I say that because I don't see the Dolphins as a team that can afford to let him sit on the bench for a year. I don't see the guy in front of Tua for the Dolphins that's going to be there. Yes, Fitzpatrick's he's a great journeyman quarterback, but I mean, it's going to be 2-3 games in that you're going to say, okay, well, let's see what Tua can do. And it's just natural. I actually really like the idea of him going to the Lions. Things have come out about him saying he doesn't want to go to the Lions, or at least his family saying he doesn't want to go to the Lions. Why not? Why not go and sit behind Matthew Stafford for a season? You're both really injury prone, so you'll probably play about the same amount of games the first season anyway. But I feel like you would learn a lot from him, and you'd be in a position to be a really good player when you finally get that chance. And I get it. Maybe, there's other factors there that the family has an issue with. But as far as an on the field football standpoint, I think that's a good fit. I really do. I would have really liked the Chargers if they kept Phillip Rivers. Really, anywhere that he can go where he can sit for a year, because I think you do need to kind of give him that redshirt year. And I don't say that from an injury perspective, which I think a lot of people are saying that. I just say that I would want him to really get an understanding of the speed of the game and how the game works. I would want him to come in and have a really good understanding of the offense. I wouldn't want him to just be out there kind of trying to make it up as he goes along, because I think that's where he would probably put himself into danger and get hurt again. That scares me. I don't like that. But with all that being said, let's get to the grade here. I'll put it up on the screen real quick. And here we are. This is the overall grade, a 6.75. I think that's a really, really good grade. I think it's a really fair grade. I always say 7 above is like elite talent. For a quarterback, I think it's a little bit different. A 6 and higher is like, holy shit, first-round quarterback all the way. 6.75, I don't know. This is the first quarterback that I've graded with this system, so there's really nothing that I have to compare it to. But as far as, grades compared to all the other players that I've graded so far, it's a really good grade. You have to like that. And I do think that it shows how much I like this player. He's a really, really good player. But I think fit and time on the bench is really going to mean a lot for this player. And the injuries do scare me. And I'm just not going to get away from that. It's going to be really hard for me as a GM to pull the trigger with a top 5 pick when this is a guy who might not be in the NFL for 5 years, because he couldn't make it. He couldn't last very long behind an Alabama offensive line. That's scary. And at the end of the day, that's what all it is. But all right, guys, that is the Tua. I'm going to try one more time. Tua Tagovailoa draft profile, and it was a doozy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love just absolutely diving in and really talking about every aspect of a player. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make. Please comment down below anybody else you'd like me to do a draft profile on. Rest assured, I'm going to get to all the big names, but if there's somebody out there that maybe I'm not thinking about doing a profile on, if it's in the comments, I'll do it. That's a guarantee. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at Between Pylons. On the podcast, the Between the Pylons podcast is really awesome. Check that out as well, and check back for another draft profile video coming soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.